Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast, Mindful Moments. I'm Sarah, and with me, as always, is Alex.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today we've got a topic that I think everyone can relate to. Don't waste your time. This is something that comes up in pretty much every aspect of life, right?
Absolutely. Time is one of those things that we all wish we had more of, but it's also something that we're often guilty of wasting, whether intentionally or not. So today, we're diving deep into how to make the most of our time and why it's so important not to squander it.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you think about it, time is really the only resource we can't get back. You can always make more money, meet new people, and gain new experiences, but once time is gone, it's gone for good.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people, myself included, often find themselves spending time on things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, how many times have you found yourself scrolling through social media for what feels like 5 minutes, only to realize an hour has gone by?
Oh, definitely. I'm guilty of that too. And it's crazy how we justify it by saying we're just taking a break or winding down. But in reality, we're not really doing anything that enriches our lives. It's just mindless.
Yeah, it's the mindless part that's the problem. Taking breaks is important, but it's about how we use that time. Are we doing something that genuinely relaxes us or recharges us? Or are we just filling the space with noise?
Exactly. I think there's a big difference between rest and escapism. Rest is intentional. It's something you do to recharge. But escapism is just trying to avoid something, whether it's stress, boredom, or even something more serious.
That's a really good point. And I think that brings us to the first major aspect of this topic, awareness. Being aware of how we're spending our time is the first step to making sure we're not wasting it.
Right. It's about mindfulness, which is something we talk about a lot here. If you're not paying attention, it's easy to let hours slip by doing things that don't contribute to your well-being or goals. And before you know it, those wasted hours turn into wasted days, weeks, and even years.
It's a sobering thought, isn't it? But at the same time, it's empowering. Once you're aware of how you're spending your time, you can start to make changes. It's like you're taking back control.
Absolutely, and that's where we get into the idea of intentionality. Once you're aware, the next step is being intentional about what you do with your time. It's not just about avoiding the things that waste your time, but actively choosing to do things that matter to you.
Yes, and that can look different for everyone. For some, it might be spending more time with family. For others, it might be pursuing a passion or hobby, or even just making sure they get enough rest. The key is to align your time with your values.
And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. We live in a world that's constantly trying to pull our attention in a million different directions. Whether it's work, social media, or even just the constant stream of news and information, it's easy to get overwhelmed.
Definitely. And when you're overwhelmed, it's easy to fall back into those time-wasting habits because they're comfortable. It's easier to scroll through Instagram than to tackle a big project or have a difficult conversation, for example.
For sure, but that's where prioritization comes in. Once you know what's important to you, you can start to prioritize those things. And that means sometimes saying no to things that aren't as important.
And that can be hard, especially if you're someone who likes to please others or if you're worried about missing out. But I've found that when I say no to things that don't align with my priorities, I actually feel more fulfilled because I'm making space for the things that do matter.
That's so true. And it's also about understanding that you can't do everything. We have this tendency to want to fill every moment with something, but that's not always the best approach. Sometimes doing nothing or just being still is what we need.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of pressure to be constantly productive, especially in our society. But productivity doesn't always mean doing more. Sometimes it means doing less, but doing it better.
Yes, quality over quantity. And that's something that I think we can all strive for. It's not about how much you can cram into your day, but how meaningful those things are.
Exactly. And that leads us to another important aspect of this topic, reflection. Taking time to reflect on how you're spending your time And whether it's aligning with your values and goals is crucial.
Reflection is key. It's like taking inventory of your life. You ask yourself, am I happy with how I'm spending my time? Am I moving towards the life I want, or am I just treading water?
Right. And reflection doesn't have to be this big, formal process. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes at the end of each day to think about what went well, what didn't, and what you might want to change.
Yeah, I like to do that before bed. I'll think about the day and ask myself if I spent my time in a way that I feel good about. If the answer is yes, great. If not, I think about what I can do differently tomorrow.
That's a great habit. And it ties into something else we've talked about before: forgiveness. Sometimes we waste time, and that's okay. It's important to forgive ourselves and not dwell on it. The key is to learn from it and move forward.
Definitely. We're all human, and we're going to have days where we're not as productive or where we fall into old habits. But beating yourself up over it just wastes more time and energy.
Exactly. So instead of getting stuck in a cycle of guilt, it's about recognizing what happened, understanding why, and then making a plan to do better next time.
And that's where accountability comes in. Sometimes, having someone to keep you accountable can make a big difference. Whether it's a friend, a partner, or even just writing things down. Having that extra layer of accountability can help you stay on track.
Definitely. I know that when I have someone to check in with, I'm more likely to follow through on my goals. It's like having a workout buddy. You're less likely to skip the gym if you know someone is counting on you to show up.
For sure. And it's also about being accountable to yourself. Setting goals and tracking your progress can help you stay focused and avoid wasting time on things that don't matter.
Yes, and I think that brings us to our final point: balance. It's important to remember that while it's crucial to use our time wisely, we also need to allow ourselves some grace. Life isn't about being perfect. It's about finding a balance that works for you.
Absolutely. Balance is key. It's about making sure that you're not just working towards your goals, but also taking time to rest, to enjoy life, and to connect with the people who matter to you.
Yes, because at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to be productive. It's to live a life that feels fulfilling and meaningful to you.
Exactly. So to wrap things up, let's quickly recap. We talked about the importance of awareness, intentionality, prioritization, reflection, forgiveness, accountability, and balance. These are all tools that can help us make the most of our time and live more mindfully.
Right. And we hope that this conversation has given you some food for thought and maybe even inspired you to take a closer look at how you're spending your time.
Definitely. Remember, time is your most valuable resource. Don't waste it on things that don't matter. Instead, invest it in the things that bring you joy, fulfillment, and purpose.
Actually, Alex, before we go, I've been thinking about something. We talked a lot about not wasting time and being intentional, but I'm curious, what do you think is the biggest time waster in your life right now? And what are you doing about it?
That's a great question. I think for me, it's probably multitasking. I used to think that doing multiple things at once was the best way to be productive, but I've realized that it actually slows me down and causes more stress. Like, I'll be answering emails while half watching a video, and in the end, I'm not really focused on either task. It's something I'm actively working on, trying to focus on one thing at a time and really being present.
I can totally relate to that. Multitasking is such a trap. You feel like you're getting more done, but in reality, you're just splitting your attention and not doing anything as well as you could. For me, I think my biggest time waster has been worrying about things I can't control. I spend so much time thinking about what ifs and worst case scenarios, and it just drains my energy.
That's a big one. Worrying can really eat up a lot of time and mental space. What are you doing to address that?
I've been practicing mindfulness and trying to focus on what I can control. It's a work in progress, but I'm getting better at catching myself when I start to spiral into worry. I remind myself that worrying doesn't change the outcome. It just makes me feel worse in the moment. So, I'm learning to let go of what I can't control and put my energy into what I can.
That's such a healthy approach. And I think it's something a lot of people struggle with. We're often taught to plan for the future and think ahead, but that can sometimes lead to overthinking and anxiety about things that might never happen.
Exactly. And it's all about finding that balance again. It's important to plan and be prepared, but not at the expense of your peace of mind. I think that's why mindfulness is so powerful. It brings you back to the present moment and helps you focus on what's right in front of you.
For sure. And speaking of the present moment, I wanted to ask you, what's one thing you've done recently that really made you feel like you were using your time wisely? Something that brought you joy or fulfillment?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd say it was reconnecting with an old friend. We hadn't spoken in years, and I kept putting off reaching out because I was busy, or it never seemed like the right time. But when we finally got together, it was like no time had passed, and I realized how much I'd missed that connection. It was such a reminder of how important relationships are and how they're really worth the time and effort.
That's awesome. It's so easy to let relationships slide when life gets busy. But those connections are really what make life rich, aren't they?
They really are. What about you? What's something you've done recently that made you feel like you were really making the most of your time?
I've been dedicating more time to learning. I started taking an online course in something I've always been interested in, but never made time for: photography. I've always loved taking pictures, but I never really knew the technical side of it. So I decided to dive in, and it's been so rewarding. It feels like I'm not just doing something I enjoy, but also growing and expanding my skills.
That's amazing. I love that you're pursuing something you're passionate about. It's such a great example of how we can use our time to invest in ourselves and our growth.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And it's also been a reminder that it's never too late to start something new or to learn something new. Time is going to pass anyway, so why not spend it doing something that excites you?
Absolutely. I think that's such an important mindset to have. It's easy to think, oh, I'm too old to start this, or it's too late for me to learn that, but that's just not true. Every moment is an opportunity to try something new, to grow, and to live more fully.
Exactly. And I think that ties into what we were talking about earlier, being intentional with your time. It's not just about avoiding time wasters, it's also about actively choosing to do things that enrich your life and make you happy.
Yes, and that could be anything, from learning a new skill to spending quality time with loved ones, to just taking a moment to relax and recharge. It's about making sure that how you spend your time aligns with what you value most.
Right. And I think it's also about being kind to yourself in the process. Like we said earlier, we're all going to waste time sometimes, and that's okay. The key is to learn from it and keep moving forward.
Exactly. It's about progress, not perfection. As long as we're making an effort to be more mindful and intentional with our time, we're on the right track.
Absolutely. So, what's one thing you're planning to focus on this week to make sure you're using your time wisely?
I'm going to focus on being more present. I've noticed that I've been getting distracted a lot lately, whether it's with my phone, work, or just my own thoughts. So this week, I'm going to make a conscious effort to really be in the moment, whether I am working, spending time with friends, or just relaxing. How about you?
I'm going to work on setting clearer boundaries with my time. I've realized that I've been saying yes to too many things, which is spreading me a little too thin. So I'm going to be more selective about what I commit to and make sure that I'm not overloading myself.
That sounds like a great plan. It's so important to protect your time and energy, and sometimes that means saying no to things that don't align with your priorities.
Exactly. And it's not about being selfish. It's about being smart with your time. You can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Right. And by taking care of yourself and managing your time well, you're actually in a better position to help others and to be more present in your relationships.
Exactly. It's all connected. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. I hope our listeners found this conversation as valuable as we did.
Hey, Alex, I just thought of one last thing. What's your take on the idea that sometimes doing nothing is actually the best use of your time?
Oh, I love that you brought that up. I'm a big believer in the power of doing nothing. We live in such a go, go, go culture that we often feel guilty if we're not constantly doing something productive. But sometimes, doing nothing, just sitting with your thoughts, taking a walk, or even just staring out the window, can be incredibly restorative.
Yes. I think it's so important to give ourselves permission to just be without the pressure to always be doing. It's like recharging a battery. You can't run on empty forever.
Exactly, and sometimes it's in those moments of doing nothing that you have your best ideas or insights. It's like your brain finally has the space to breathe and process everything.
That's so true. I've had some of my most creative thoughts when I'm not actively trying to be creative. It's like when you stop forcing it, the ideas just flow naturally.
Exactly. So, to all our listeners out there, if you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck, maybe the best thing you can do is take a step back and just give yourself some time to do nothing. It might be just what you need to recharge and refocus.
Great advice, Alex. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is to simply pause and breathe. Hey, Alex, since we're on the topic of not wasting time, I'm curious, what's your take on the idea of being busy versus being productive? I feel like so many people equate busyness with success, but I'm not sure that's always true.
Oh, that's such a good point. I think there's a huge difference between being busy and being productive. Being busy often just means you're doing a lot of things, but not necessarily moving forward on anything important. It's like running on a treadmill. You're expending a lot of energy, but you're not actually getting anywhere.
Exactly. I've noticed that sometimes I'll fill my day with tasks, and at the end of it, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything meaningful. It's like I've just been spinning my wheels, but not making any real progress.
Right, and I think that's where being intentional comes into play. It's about focusing on the things that truly matter and letting go of the rest. It's easy to get caught up in the little things, responding to every email the second it comes in, checking off minor tasks on your to-do list. But if those things aren't moving you closer to your goals, are they really productive?
That's such a great way to put it. I've started asking myself, is this task helping me get closer to where I want to be? If the answer is no, then I try to reevaluate whether it's something I need to be doing at all.
Exactly. And I think part of that is also learning to be okay with not doing everything. We've been conditioned to think that being busy equals being valuable, but sometimes the most valuable thing you can do is to focus on fewer things and do them well.
Yes, and that's where prioritization comes in. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. I found that when I'm clear on my priorities, I'm more productive because I'm not wasting time on things that don't really move the needle.
Absolutely. And I think there's also something to be said for giving yourself time to think and reflect. If you're constantly busy, you don't have time to evaluate what you're doing and whether it's actually effective. Sometimes taking a step back and reassessing your approach can lead to a big breakthrough.
That's such a good point. I've had moments where I've been stuck on a problem, and it's only when I've stepped away from it, whether it's taking a walk, meditating, or just taking a break, that the solution comes to me. It's like you need that space to let your brain process everything.
Exactly. And that ties back to what we were talking about earlier. Sometimes doing nothing is the best thing you can do. It's in those moments of quiet that you can really tap into your creativity and come up with new ideas or solutions.
Yes. I think we've all had those aha moments that come when we least expect them. When we're in the shower, driving, or just lying in bed. It's like our minds need that downtime to make connections and generate new insights.
Definitely. And that's why it's so important to create space in your life for those moments. If you're constantly filling every minute with tasks and distractions, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to have those breakthroughs.
Absolutely. It's like we need to give ourselves permission to slow down and not always be in go mode. It's okay to take a step back, reflect, and just be.
Yes, and I think that's a lesson a lot of us are still learning. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, but at the end of the day, it's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And that's something I'm trying to remind myself of every day. It's not about how much I can do, but about doing the right things, the things that align with my goals and values.
That's such a healthy perspective, Sarah. And I think if more people adopted that mindset, we'd all be a lot less stressed and a lot more fulfilled.
I agree. It's all about shifting our mindset from busy to purposeful. When we focus on what really matters, we're not just productive, we're also living more meaningful lives.
Absolutely. So let's challenge ourselves and our listeners to make that shift. Let's focus on being purposeful with our time and not just filling it for the sake of feeling busy.
I love that. It's about quality over quantity and making sure that the time we spend is moving us towards the life we want to live.
Some questions and answers related to the topic don't waste your time.
Why is it important not to waste time?
Time is a finite resource that cannot be reclaimed once it's gone. By using time wisely, we can achieve our goals, grow personally and professionally, and create meaningful experiences. Wasting time can lead to missed opportunities and regret.
What are some common time-wasting activities?
Common time-wasting activities include excessive social media use, procrastination, engaging in unproductive meetings, multitasking, overthinking, and spending too much time on tasks that don't contribute to your goals or well-being.
How can multitasking lead to wasting time?
Multitasking divides your attention between multiple tasks, often leading to mistakes and a longer time to complete each task. Instead of being productive, multitasking can reduce the quality of your work and increase stress, making it an inefficient use of time.
What is the difference between being busy and being productive?
Being busy means filling your schedule with tasks, regardless of their importance or impact. Being productive, on the other hand, involves focusing on tasks that align with your goals and contribute to meaningful progress. Productivity is about quality, not quantity.
How can mindfulness help in reducing time wastage?
Mindfulness helps you stay present and focused on the task at hand, reducing distractions and improving concentration. By being mindful, you can make better decisions about how to spend your time, ensuring that you invest it in activities that matter to you.
What strategies can be used to avoid wasting time?
Strategies include setting clear goals, prioritizing tasks, avoiding unnecessary multitasking, setting time limits for activities, practicing mindfulness, and regularly reviewing your schedule to eliminate low-value activities.
Why is it important to reflect on how you spend your time?
Reflection allows you to assess whether your current activities are aligned with your long-term goals and values. It helps you identify areas where you may be wasting time and provides an opportunity to make adjustments to improve productivity and fulfillment.
How can setting boundaries help in managing time effectively?
Setting boundaries helps protect your time and energy by preventing overcommitment and distractions. It allows you to focus on what's most important and ensures that your time is spent on activities that contribute to your goals and well-being.
Can doing nothing be a productive use of time?
Yes, doing nothing can be productive if it's intentional. Taking breaks or allowing yourself time to relax can recharge your mind and body, leading to better focus and creativity when you return to your tasks. It can also provide the mental space needed for reflection and idea generation.
How can overthinking lead to time wastage?
Overthinking often involves dwelling on past events or worrying about future scenarios that may never happen. This can consume a lot of time and mental energy without leading to any productive outcomes. Learning to let go of unnecessary worries can free up time and mental resources for more constructive activities.
What role does goal setting play in preventing time wastage?
Goal setting provides direction and clarity, helping you focus on what's important. By having clear, achievable goals, you can prioritize your time and efforts towards activities that help you reach those goals, minimizing distractions, and time wasting activities.
How can technology both help and hinder time management?
Technology can help with time management by providing tools for organization, communication, and automation of tasks. However, it can also be a major source of distraction through social media, notifications, and entertainment, leading to wasted time if not managed properly.
What are some signs that you might be wasting time?
Signs include constantly feeling busy but not accomplishing much, frequently procrastinating, spending a lot of time on low priority tasks, lacking clear goals, feeling unfulfilled at the end of the day, and being easily distracted.
How can prioritizing tasks help reduce time wastage?
Prioritizing tasks ensures that you focus on what's most important first, making sure your time is spent on activities that have the greatest impact. This helps avoid getting bogged down by less important tasks that don't contribute to your overall goals.
Why is it important to give yourself time to rest and recharge?
Rest and relaxation are crucial for maintaining productivity and mental well being. Without adequate rest, you're more likely to experience burnout, decreased focus, and lower quality work. Taking time to recharge ensures that you have the energy and clarity needed to use your time effectively.
How can procrastination lead to wasted time? And what can be done to overcome it?
Procrastination involves delaying tasks that need to be done, often replacing them with less important or easier activities. This not only wastes time, but also increases stress as deadlines approach. Overcoming procrastination requires identifying the underlying reasons, such as fear of failure or lack of motivation, and then breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps, setting deadlines, and rewarding progress. Techniques like the Pomodoro technique, where you work in short, focused bursts with breaks in between, can also help.
What is the role of time management tools in preventing time wastage?
Time management tools, such as planners, calendars, and apps, help you organize your tasks, set reminders, and track your progress. These tools provide structure, allowing you to allocate time effectively to different activities. By using tools like task lists, project management software, and time trackers, you can prioritize tasks, avoid overlaps, and ensure you're spending your time on what truly matters. However, it's important not to spend excessive time managing these tools themselves, which can become a form of time wasting if not used properly.
How can setting specific goals help in avoiding time wastage?
Setting specific goals gives you a clear direction and purpose, reducing the likelihood of drifting through your day without focus. When your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, smart, you can create a roadmap to achieve them. This clarity helps you prioritize tasks that contribute to your goals, reducing the chance of wasting time on activities that don't move you forward. Regularly reviewing and adjusting your goals also ensures that your time remains aligned with your evolving priorities.
Why is saying no sometimes necessary to avoid wasting time?
Saying no is essential for protecting your time and energy. If you agree to every request or opportunity, you risk spreading yourself too thin and not having enough time to focus on your own priorities. By learning to say no to tasks, events, or responsibilities that don't align with your goals or values, you can prevent unnecessary stress and time wastage. It's important to remember that every no to something unimportant is a yes to something that matters more.
How can overcommitment lead to time wastage, and how can it be avoided?
Overcommitment occurs when you take on more tasks or responsibilities than you can realistically handle. This often leads to poor time management, burnout, and lower quality work. It can also result in neglecting important personal or professional goals. To avoid overcommitment, it's crucial to assess your current workload before agreeing to new tasks, set clear boundaries, and delegate when possible. Practicing assertiveness and being realistic about your time and energy limits are key to preventing overcommitment.
What is the importance of regular reflection and time management?
Regular reflection allows you to evaluate how you've been spending your time and whether your activities align with your goals and values. By reflecting, you can identify areas where you might be wasting time and make necessary adjustments. This process helps you learn from your experiences, improve your productivity, and ensure that you're making the most of your time. Reflection can be done through journaling, weekly reviews, or simply taking a few minutes each day to consider what went well and what could be improved.
How can eliminating distractions help in using time more effectively?
Distractions, such as phone notifications, social media, or interruptions from others, can significantly reduce your focus and productivity. Every time you get distracted, it takes time to regain your concentration, leading to wasted minutes or even hours. Eliminating distractions involves creating a focused work environment, turning off non essential notifications, setting boundaries with others, and using techniques like time blocking to dedicate uninterrupted time to important tasks. By minimizing distractions, you can work more efficiently and effectively.
Why is it important to take breaks to avoid wasting time?
Taking regular breaks is crucial for maintaining productivity and preventing burnout. Continuous work without breaks can lead to fatigue, reduced focus, and lower quality output, ultimately wasting time because you're not working at your best. Breaks allow you to recharge, clear your mind, and return to your tasks with renewed energy and concentration. Techniques like the Pomodoro technique, which involves working for a set period, usually 25 minutes, followed by a short break, can help you maintain high productivity levels throughout the day.
How can practicing gratitude help in reducing time wastage?
Practicing gratitude shifts your focus to the positive aspects of your life, helping you prioritize what truly matters. When you regularly reflect on what you're grateful for, you're more likely to spend your time on activities that bring joy, fulfillment, and meaning rather than getting caught up in trivial pursuits. Gratitude can also reduce stress and improve your overall well being, making you more efficient and effective in your daily tasks.
What is the role of self discipline in avoiding time wastage?
Self discipline is the ability to stay focused on your goals and resist the temptation to engage in time wasting activities. It involves setting and adhering to personal rules, such as sticking to your schedule, avoiding procrastination, and staying committed to your priorities. Developing self discipline requires practice and consistency, but it's essential for managing your time effectively. By cultivating self discipline, you can overcome distractions and stay on track with your goals, ensuring that your time is used productively.
How can setting realistic expectations prevent time wastage?
Setting realistic expectations involves understanding your limits and planning your time accordingly. Unrealistic expectations, such as trying to accomplish too much in a short period, can lead to frustration, stress, and wasted effort when things don't go as planned. By setting achievable goals and timelines, you can manage your time more effectively, avoid unnecessary stress, and maintain a sense of accomplishment. It also helps in making better decisions about where to invest your time and energy.
How does the concept of opportunity cost relate to time management?
Opportunity cost refers to the value of what you give up when you choose one option over another. In terms of time management, every hour spent on one activity is an hour that could have been spent on something else. By understanding the opportunity cost of your time, you can make more informed decisions about how to spend it, ensuring that you prioritize activities that offer the greatest value or return. This awareness helps prevent wasting time on low priority tasks.
How can delegation help in avoiding time wastage?
Delegation involves assigning tasks to others when appropriate, freeing up your time for higher priority activities. Effective delegation allows you to focus on tasks that require your unique skills and expertise while ensuring that other necessary tasks are completed efficiently by others. By recognizing when to delegate, you can avoid wasting time on tasks that others can handle, leading to better time management and overall productivity.
Why is it important to align your time with your values?
Aligning your time with your values ensures that you're spending your life on what truly matters to you. When your daily activities reflect your core values, you're more likely to feel fulfilled and satisfied, reducing the sense of time wasted. This alignment also helps you make better decisions about how to allocate your time, as you can prioritize activities that resonate with your values and eliminate those that don't contribute to your overall sense of purpose.
How can simplifying your life help reduce time wastage?
Simplifying your life involves removing unnecessary clutter, commitments, and distractions that consume time and energy. By focusing on what's truly important and letting go of the rest, you can reduce the mental and physical clutter that often leads to wasted time. Simplification can involve decluttering your physical space, streamlining your schedule, or reducing your reliance on technology. This process frees up time for meaningful activities and helps you manage your time more effectively.
Question. How can creating a daily routine help in avoiding time wastage?
A daily routine provides structure and consistency, helping you start and end your day with purpose. By having a set routine, you reduce decision fatigue, where you spend unnecessary time deciding what to do next. Routines ensure that essential tasks are completed efficiently and that there's dedicated time for your priorities, reducing the likelihood of wasting time on less important activities.
What role does self awareness play in time management?
Self awareness involves understanding your strengths, weaknesses, and natural rhythms throughout the day. By being aware of when you're most productive, you can schedule high priority tasks during those peak times. Self awareness also helps you recognize patterns of time wasting behaviors, enabling you to address them effectively. For example, if you know you're prone to distractions in the afternoon, you can plan to work on less demanding tasks during that time.
How can setting deadlines help prevent time wastage?
Deadlines create a sense of urgency and help you focus on completing tasks within a specific time frame. Without deadlines, tasks can drag on indefinitely, leading to procrastination and wasted time. By setting realistic deadlines, you can manage your time more effectively, prioritize tasks, and avoid the stress of last-minute rushes. Deadlines also provide a clear endpoint, helping you stay on track and maintain momentum.
Why is it important to learn from past experiences in time management?
Reflecting on past experiences allows you to identify what worked well and what didn't in terms of managing your time. By learning from these experiences, you can make better decisions in the future, avoiding the mistakes that led to time wastage. This continuous improvement mindset ensures that you're always refining your time management strategies, leading to greater efficiency and productivity over time.
How can focusing on one task at a time help reduce time wastage?
Focusing on one task at a time, also known as single tasking, allows you to give your full attention to the task, leading to better quality work and faster completion. Multitasking, on the other hand, often results in mistakes and longer completion times because your attention is divided. By dedicating yourself to one task at a time, you reduce the likelihood of errors, stay in a flow state, and ultimately save time.
What is the significance of energy management in avoiding time wastage?
Energy management involves aligning your tasks with your natural energy levels throughout the day. Instead of just managing your time, it's important to manage your energy, doing high priority or demanding tasks when you're most energized. For example, if you're a morning person, tackling challenging work in the morning can prevent time wastage that might occur if you try to do it when your energy is low. Understanding and managing your energy helps you maintain productivity and avoid burnout.
How can decluttering your environment help you avoid wasting time?
A cluttered environment can be distracting and overwhelming, making it difficult to focus and find what you need. Decluttering your physical and digital spaces can streamline your work process, reduce stress, and increase efficiency. By organizing your space and keeping only what's necessary, you can eliminate the time wasted searching for items or being distracted by clutter. A tidy environment fosters a clear mind, leading to more productive use of time.
How does perfectionism contribute to time wastage? And how can it be managed?
Perfectionism often leads to spending excessive time on tasks, trying to make everything flawless. This can result in diminishing returns, where the additional time spent doesn't significantly improve the outcome. To manage perfectionism, it's important to set realistic standards and recognize that done is better than perfect. Focus on completing tasks to a high standard without obsessing over every detail, and learn to accept that some imperfections are acceptable.
How can taking responsibility for your time help reduce time wastage?
Taking responsibility for your time means acknowledging that you have control over how you spend it. Instead of blaming external factors for time wastage, you take ownership of your decisions and actions. This mindset empowers you to make conscious choices, prioritize effectively, and eliminate excuses. By holding yourself accountable, you can identify areas where you're wasting time and take proactive steps to improve.
What is the importance of boundaries in time management, and how can they be established?
Boundaries help protect your time from being consumed by others' demands or distractions. Establishing clear boundaries, such as designated work hours, no interruption zones, or limits on meeting times, ensures that your time is respected. To establish boundaries, communicate them clearly to others and be consistent in enforcing them. This helps you stay focused on your priorities and reduces the risk of wasting time on tasks or activities that don't align with your goals.
How can overplanning lead to time wastage, and how can it be avoided?
Overplanning involves spending too much time preparing and organizing, which can lead to analysis paralysis, where you overthink decisions and delay action. While planning is important, it's essential to strike a balance between preparation and execution. To avoid overplanning, set time limits for planning sessions. Focus on creating a flexible plan and be willing to adjust as you go. Remember that taking action is often more productive than endless planning.
Why is it important to schedule time for relaxation and leisure?
Scheduling time for relaxation and leisure is crucial for maintaining a healthy work-life balance and preventing burnout. Without adequate downtime, you risk depleting your energy and motivation, leading to decreased productivity and time wastage. Leisure activities help you recharge, reduce stress, and improve overall well-being, making you more effective when you return to work. By intentionally setting aside time for relaxation, you can ensure that your time is balanced and sustainable.
How can practicing self compassion help in managing time more effectively?
Self-compassion involves being kind to yourself, especially when things don't go as planned. When you're overly critical of yourself for not managing time perfectly, it can lead to stress, guilt, and further time wastage. Practicing self-compassion allows you to learn from mistakes without being overly harsh, making it easier to move forward and make positive changes. This mindset fosters resilience and helps you stay motivated to improve your time management skills.
How does the fear of missing out, FOMO, contribute to time wastage? And how can it be managed?
The fear of missing out, FOMO, can lead to time wastage by driving you to participate in activities or commitments that don't align with your goals simply because you don't want to miss out. This can result in overcommitting and spending time on activities that don't bring value to your life. To manage FOMO, It's important to prioritize what truly matters to you and be selective about how you spend your time. Focus on your long term goals and values rather than being swayed by the fear of missing out on every opportunity.
How can focusing on long-term goals help prevent time wastage?
Focusing on long term goals helps you align your daily activities with your broader life objectives. When you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve in the long run, it becomes easier to prioritize tasks that contribute to those goals and eliminate activities that don't. This focus ensures that your time is spent on meaningful and impactful pursuits, reducing the likelihood of wasting time on short term distractions or activities that don't serve your long term aspirations.
How can embracing change help in reducing time wastage?
Embracing change involves being adaptable and open to new ways of doing things. Resistance to change can lead to time wastage, as you may continue using outdated methods or processes that are no longer effective. By being open to change, you can continuously improve your time management strategies, adopt new tools or techniques, and stay efficient in a dynamic environment. Flexibility and willingness to evolve are key to making the most of your time.
How can the concept of minimalism help in managing time more effectively?
Minimalism involves simplifying your life by focusing on what's truly essential and eliminating the rest. This philosophy can be applied to time management by prioritizing only the most important tasks, commitments, and activities. By adopting a minimalist approach, you reduce the clutter in your schedule and make more intentional choices about how to spend your time. This leads to greater focus, less stress, and more time for the things that matter most.
Why is it important to periodically reassess your priorities?
Priorities can change over time based on your life circumstances, goals, and values. Periodically reassessing your priorities ensures that your time is aligned with what's currently most important to you. This reassessment helps you avoid wasting time on outdated goals or commitments that no longer serve you. By regularly reviewing and adjusting your priorities, you can stay focused on what matters most and make the best use of your time.
How can mindfulness meditation help in reducing time wastage?
Mindfulness meditation involves focusing your attention on the present moment, which can improve your ability to concentrate and reduce distractions. By practicing mindfulness, you become more aware of how you're spending your time and can identify when you're engaging in time wasting behaviors. Mindfulness helps you stay focused on the task at hand, manage stress, and make more intentional choices about how to use your time, leading to greater productivity and less time wasted.
How can setting boundaries with technology help prevent time wastage?
Technology, especially smartphones and social media, can be a significant source of distraction and time wastage. Setting boundaries with technology involves establishing rules for how and when you use devices, such as limiting screen time, turning off notifications, or setting specific times for checking emails or social media. By managing your technology use, you can reduce distractions, stay focused on your tasks, and reclaim time that might otherwise be wasted on mindless scrolling or constant interruptions.